Hello everyone. Today I want to discuss how the hell you're gonna install the custom locations, custom buildings and traders for your DayZ server. This guide is dedicated mostly for young server administrators who are only starting and have no idea how to do that, because they're asking a lot in the forums and comments. So we decided to make this video to help you. As an example, I will be using two of our modes, Livonia Radio Tower plus Traders and Livonia Locations. These modes were created, the locations were created by amazing German creator Raccoon. And I've made the spawn maps and other configs. Okay. So first of all, you have to subscribe to mode, right? So when you click subscribe button, it will be copied to your computer. For example, in Livonia Locations, we added about how many? 12, 10, 12, 14 locations. These are all custom made, and this particular map is dedicated for users because, like, for administrators it's useless, and for users it's like brings adventure spirit, so you can explore, and all these locations spawn top tier loot, and they spawn a lot of zombies, so it will be quite challenging. Yeah. So when you subscribe to the mode, you have the following. Let me check all my files. You have the following in the mod folder. So this is Livonia Locations, right? And I have to mention it works only on Livonia map. But the idea is the same for all the maps, so you can use it for churners, but the coordinates for the buildings will be different, obviously. So keep this in mind. So you have number of files here. First of all, this is quite detailed guide here for installation, but nobody bothers to read it. So that's why we're making this video. But some details we will be using in this guide from these instructions, because it's quite important. Okay. Okay, so here we have our test server. We go to permissions folder. We have Chernerus mission and Enoch, which is Livonia map. First of all, what we're gonna do, we want to take backup of this folder, because if we will change everything and nothing works, you can always get back to your backup and your server will be operational again. Okay, so go to the Enoch folder, and here you have the number of files which all the server administrators should be aware of, and they must be aware what every file means to the game. But basically our configuration is operational from the box, so you may just replace the existing files and everything will be working. So, but I will describe each individual file in details. Okay, so here we gonna select locations, locations folder, span object C, and copy it to our test folder, our test server. Okay. Now init.c, you have the existing file here, but it doesn't have our customization. So be aware that if your server is heavily customized, you may be wanting to just open our provided file and copy the data from there, not replacing your existing file. But if you're using default init.c, you may just replace it. Okay, so we're going to replace it. Okay, so let's start with the init. Sorry. Yeah. So 2 lines were added at the top, which refers to the following files. Here's the path to the file, spanObject.c and locations.c in locations folder. Also, this line was added. This is the function call for our custom buildings. Okay. This one is also added, but I will discuss it a bit later. What is it? What does it mean? So the spanObject.c, let's open it. This is the custom function called spanObject, which actually spawns your custom buildings. And in locations folder, you have locations.c. These are all custom buildings which spawns in your map. Okay, so to actually spawn your objects, you have to call this function, which is located here. So you call on this function, and the system starts to spawn your custom objects on the server start. This is actually C++ programming language, so if you know how to use it, it will be quite easy to understand. But if you don't, just use our provided files and you will be good to go. So custom objects are spawning here. And also you need to add zombie territories. Now zombie territories, this is the spawn locations for all custom locations where we have zombies. So all our locations have top tier root, top tier loot, and also they have number of zombies inside each of the locations. So you have to add the contents of this file to your existing file in your server folder. So let's find it. It's an environment folder, and this is the default file. We have to edit, and at the bottom we have to add our new territory for our custom zombies. So go ahead and copy this and move it here. So be aware that you have to copy it before the closing territory type tag, otherwise nothing will work. So it should be looking like this. So save this file. Okay, once again let's check one more time if we have this. Yes, our custom zone is here. Okay, great. So this is basically it. Now what you're gonna do, go to init.c again, and we're gonna discuss this function. This function it exports the item spawns locations for custom buildings. So the engine generates the file based on your custom buildings. If you will not do that, your custom buildings will be completely empty. The zombies will be there because you already added the zombies locations, but the loot will not be there. It will be completely empty. So to make the loot spawning there, you have to uncomment this function and to start your server one time only. So on start, server will generate the special file, and in the logs you will see the following. So this is the log entry from the server start. It will say map export blah blah blah, entities found, everything, entities valid, and so it will generate. Where is our server? It will generate the file in the inoc folder, storage, export. It will, oh, I don't have it here, I already copied. So it will generate this file. It will be located here, and this is your updated spawn loot spawn mapping. Okay, so now you have to stop your server and command this function back. So you will be doing this only one time on the first initial start of the server. Save again and move this file from the export folder to your root enoch folder, replacing the existing one. Okay, so this is our map groups positions, and it corresponds to loot spawning on your custom buildings. Actually all the buildings, but it's also updated for the custom buildings which we just added. Okay, so this is basically it for custom buildings. I will also discuss the traders. It's a bit different, very similar but somehow different. So with our traders mode we provided similar set of files, but some additional files I will just describe. Okay, so this one we don't need anymore. So our server spawn object C will already have. Init C was modified, so here, as it's only for traders, we don't have custom locations here. So if you want traders and locations, you have to take this line here and copy to your, where is it? To your ini.c file. Okay, like so. Also you want this function add trader buildings, which corresponds to spawning all the trader buildings and other objects, like for example here you see the ATM machines from the banking mode, which adds basically banking to your DayZ, so you can deposit and withdraw money from there. So it has these custom functions also. So you have to add this custom function to here, like so, like so. Okay, so now we have two custom functions. First one spawns the custom buildings from the previous mode, and the second one spawns the trader camps. Okay, next go to the server once again, and you have profiles folder, which basically settings for additional modes. From the credits here you see the mode dependency, but if you subscribe to our mode, all these modes will be installed automatically to your computer, so you not need to worry about, but still, just for your reference, it's listed here. So these are configs for the modes, which are dependent to ours. Banking config, like here you can change the maximum amount of currency your players could store in ATMs. This is just on my server, this is just a gift to the initial players. They would get 1000 rubles, like initial amount of currency on the first entry to the server. Here the trader config, so it's working out of the box. All the trader locations, 4 trader locations, are operational, and we have pre-installed categories, and the economy is working, so you are free to modify it as you want. This one is the in-game map markers. If you use that, and it also has all the locations of the trader camps. Okay. Now, yeah, and the last file here is additional types. So these types you have to add to your types.xml file, because these types are from the dependent modes, like for example trail browser, the additional SUV vehicle, additional weapons, whatever, money for the trader mode, wallet. Yeah, so again, select all these except the top part. Select all this and go to your server folder. DB, and here's your original file. Always keep a backup copy of it, always, because otherwise, if you screw up, you will not be able to run your server. Nothing will be spawning. If you'll make one mistake in the XML file, nothing will be spawning. So copy all this, go to the bottom, mine the closing tags, copy all this to the file. Now go to because we selected everything, so we have to remove these because it will screw up our file. So we remove all these tags. Oh, my server is restarting. You have to remove all these tags, and also the closing tag types should be only one. Okay, like so. So now your file is good. Save it, close it. The only thing is remaining. The only thing is remaining is this function. So what does it do? This is dedicated to, like, if you're spawning custom buildings, if you will just start your server, the location, the buildings will be completely empty, because the game doesn't know about your new custom buildings. You have to tell the game that it has loot also. So for this matter, this function is used, and the engine generate the new loot spawning map with the engine, with this function. So you uncomment this, remove come on, man, remove 2 slashes here, uncomment it, save, and start your server. You have to do this only one time on the initial start of the server. After the start, where is it? Sorry, I have to find this again. Show you. Yeah. So here's my guide. So after the start, in the log, you will see this line, like so, map export. It means that the engine generated and exported the new spawn map locations, and it is located here. Where's my server? Oh man. It is located here, export folder, and you will see this file here, map groups pos.xml. Once you get it, stop your server and comment out this function. So it should be run only one time on the initial server start. So next, copy this file, and in the main mission folder, replace the existing file. So now in your custom buildings, you will be spawning loot as per your loot map, the new one. Okay, so what else? One additional file here is the it's actually missing from here, but I already moved it. This is called areaflex.map. So this is actually binary file. You cannot edit it manually. It could be only edited with a special software. You should replace it here also in the mission folder. What it does, it specifies the tiers on your map. So all our locations, custom locations, are marked as the top tier. So the loot will be spawning and it will be top tier loot. Okay. This is basically it. One more issue. So when you are using this function to export new spawn maps, be aware that if you have traders included here, you don't want to do this, because otherwise you will be also exporting the trader buildings and they will also spawn loot. You don't want to do this. So before using this function to export loot map locations, comment out this, and then start your server, because otherwise the loot map locations will be exported, including your trader camps, and the loot will be spawning inside your trader camps, which you don't want, right? Yeah, so this is basically it. Sorry for a bit messed up tutorial, but I hope it will help someone. Yeah, so leave a likes, leave dislikes, whatever you want. Bye bye.